Hi, my name is Mr. Sharp King, and a couple of days ago, I got a question from somebody that contacted me through my blog and asked me if Japanese women were racist or Japanese people in general are racist. Now, we got to get things in perspective. First off, Japanese people don't have the ability to be racist. That's the first thing. Because you have to understand, in order to be a racist, you have to have the power to back up your words. You have to be able to do something to somebody. You have to be able to destroy their life. You have to be able to steal their history, stop them. You have to have the power to disenfranchise them. You have to destroy their family structure. You have to um, be able to do everything in your power to make sure they never prosper. Like, they can't get a job, they can't get a loan, they can't get a house, they can't live where they want to live, they can't get a proper education. So, last I checked, Japanese people don't have the power to do any of that stuff. They haven't done any of that. But just because somebody calls you a name, that doesn't make them a racist. I mean, that's called prejudice, or that's just how they feel at the moment. I mean, it's kind of like a lot of people are very unreasonable, and sometimes um, they just don't know what they're talking about. Some people don't even know what a racist is. You know, so just because you have to understand. First off, you have to understand the Japanese culture. Japanese people don't dislike you because of the color of your skin. If they're gonna dislike you, it's going to be because you're a foreigner, which is very different from being in America. Because if you're living in America, people tend to dislike you because of the color of your skin. Just that only. Now, you can be the coolest guy in the world, coolest girl in the world, but if you're black or Hispanic or Asian, they just won't like you. It doesn't. They'll just see you for the first time and say, "Oh, I don't like him because he's black. I don't like him because he's Mexican. I don't like him because he's from Peru. I don't like him because he's Chinese." But in Japan, this is one thing I can say, and this is coming from somebody that's lived in Japan for almost 4 years. I lived there. Now, they even though they might still have their beliefs and their stereotypes, they still will give you a chance. That's the thing. They still will give you a chance. But in America, you probably won't get a chance from anybody. You only got one shot in America. You only get one shot in America. Unless you're part of the dominant society. So when I hear people say or ask questions, are Japanese people racist? It's not even possible. I mean, just because, some people are very irrational and unreasonable. Just because they have a bad experience with one person, they'll just throw everybody else in the group, in the basket together and say, "Oh, they called me a name, or they didn't treat me the way I would like to. So all the Japanese people are like, oh, this way. No, that's not true. Life doesn't work like that. I mean, in a fairy tale world or in a perfect world, yeah, everything will go smooth, and I mean, maybe you have a good time or whatever. But see, a lot of people that leave America and go to other countries, they quickly find out that in other countries, they don't play by the same rules. There's no status quo. So see, no one's gonna kiss your ass just because you're part of the dominant society, or just because you're from a well-known family, or maybe or because um you're a big brand or something like that, or maybe you got connections. So no one's gonna kiss your ass in these other countries. So people deal with you based on how you carry yourself, based on how you talk and how you behave and how you interact with them. So when you leave America and go to other countries, you have to show and prove. No one's gonna. You don't have any privileges when you go to these other countries unless you're a celebrity or uh, a big name or something like that. But if you're just an average person or someone that's not necessarily in the public eye, no one, don't look for anyone to kiss your ass. And I think that has to do with a lot of the comments and a lot of questions that I've been hearing, because a lot of people, this is I've discovered over years, this is one reason why a lot of people don't travel overseas, because people aren't going to kiss their ass when they get there. So they'll just stay in America and have everyone kiss their ass all day, and that makes them feel good, make them feel like they're more of who they really are. But in essence, it's just a facade. You're a fraud if that's how you think. So Japanese people, for the most part, they deal with you based on who you are, how you carry yourself, and how you interact with them. And you have to understand that they've been like this for hundreds and hundreds of years, thousands of years. I mean, it's kind of like if you go to someone else's house, you have to respect their rules. So if you go to Japan, you have to respect their culture, their way of doing things. You can't go over there and don't respect the culture and not even interested and think that it's your way or the highway. It doesn't work like that. So if a lot of times this is what a lot of people are doing. So if you're doing that and you're expecting a good response, it's probably not going to happen. So I don't really think, sometimes I think a lot of people just don't know what they're talking about. It's like a lot of people haven't really been to Japan. A lot of times you can't like look at somebody talking about it on the internet or look at the news or anything like that. A lot of times you have to go to Japan and get the experience on your own. And I noticed that a lot of people will say little, have ideas and expressions about certain people, certain cultures, but they haven't really had the experience of being around them. So what I would say is, you got to stop taking people's word when it comes to everything. If you really want to know what the Japanese people are all about, I would say take a trip there and make friends when you get there. And you know, that's the fastest way to really tell what it's all about. And do some research before you get there. You can do some research online about the Japanese culture. That way you can understand where they're coming from. And when you get there, it'll be much easier for you to relate to them. But if you don't try to relate to them about anything, you're probably not gonna get the response you want. Because if you leave America and you go to over there and you go to Japan with those ideas and misconceptions and stereotypes that you have coming from America, you're probably going to get rejected. Because a lot of that aggressiveness that a lot of guys have in America, that doesn't get too much play. That doesn't work very well in Japan. So this is what I've learned over the years. A lot of guys, man, they just don't know what the hell they're doing when it comes to just talking to the Japanese women. They just don't have the mental capacity to understand. So that's what I think about that. So if you like what you heard in this video, go to my blog, chooseyourrelationships.com. That's chooseyourrelationships.com. And if you don't want to do that, just subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click on the red button that says subscribe. So until next time, my name is Mr. Sharp Game. Peace and love.